Last week, a friend of mine sent me details of a property that's for sale in Cordillera. And this property is of particular interest to me, as I will explain in this video. The first thing that occurred to me when I saw this advertisement for this property was that it was a beautiful property in a great position, exactly the kind of property that I'd be interested in, and I imagine many others would be too. But the other thing that I found really interesting about this property, that had only been listed maybe a week or so prior to me receiving this message, was that this property that was advertised is the property that we purchased a number of months ago. We have purchased a property not too far from Paraguay, and it's the same property that my friend had sent me the details of, that is up for sale apparently on a social media site by somebody who I've never heard of. They definitely have nothing to do with the people that we purchased the property from. There'd be no association. It's simply somebody who has taken the details of the property that we purchased and put it online for sale. I must say that the price they're asking for is quite a bit more than what we paid for it. So if they happen to get that price, well, they're doing pretty well. And I was cheeky enough to contact them with the hope that I could get an inspection. And I was going to even offer a really cheeky price to pay for the property, given the fact that, well, I've already bought it once before. But unfortunately, the person who's listed the property didn't get back to me, and so it goes. But I thought it was an interesting talking point, because something I'm often going on about is the fact that you can't really rely on what you see online. In this particular instance, the person that advertised the property looks legit. They've got a genuine profile, they've got a high star rating, and they've got other properties that they've got listed. I suspect that they've just listed the property because they probably want to bulk out their offerings and also have a loss leader, so that people will be contacting them about that property and they'll be able to say, hey, that just sold last week, but I've got several others for you. I don't really know what their true motivations are. Suffice to say that this person is not just a random nobody, so to speak. It looks like they even have some association with one of the bigger real estate companies. Now, I was having a barbecue just this weekend with a friend of mine who owns a really nice property just nearby here, and he was telling me that he also notices on a regular basis his property that he purchased some time ago is also regularly listed for sale on this same social media platform. There's kind of a funny side to this, but I guess we've got to look past that and consider the potential and the realities that exist in these sort of situations, because it's not too difficult to imagine how the person who's listed the property that we own could use that process so that they could really pull a number on an unsuspecting person who's looking perhaps from overseas or someone who's recently arrived. There's many different ways that they could manipulate interest from people who looked at that property in a way that they could perhaps even reap some money out of unsuspecting potential buyers. And that's the really deathly serious side of it. When I looked at this social media platform, I noticed that not only is my property currently for sale on it, but there's other properties where there's 4 or 5 different people selling the same particular property. It's really common to go on and see, oh, that house looks pretty good, but down here it's for sale for 40 milioni cheaper or 50 milioni more. It's really common to see multiple listings of property. So what are we to conclude from all this? Well, I guess it just doubles down on what I always say, and that is that if you're looking from outside of this country and you're looking either on social media platforms or major real estate sites or AI, you're really boxing in the dark. The information that you're getting on these sites is spurious at best. And this is just one of countless examples of how you can look at a property and it's written seemingly very professionally and genuinely, but you're looking at a price that is not even vaguely reflective of what that property has in fact sold for just not too long ago. We're seeing more and more people are contacting us and feeling as though they're to some degree informed because they've been able to access this sort of information. And I just cannot say it more clearly that whatever you're seeing online, I would hold on to it loosely in respect to how much I regard it as a valid source of data to create my perspective as to what things should be going for. But it's not just real estate, whether you're talking about cars or any other thing of value. When you're looking online, you don't know if the person who has listed it even owns it. And once again, there's many reasons why someone would list a car even though they don't own it. Often it will be because they're kind of dealers and it's a loss leader and they have another car that they're trying to sell, or there's a myriad of other little capers and different reasons why people will do that. All to say, if you're looking at it online, well, unless you are there and you can verify it, take it with a grain of salt. But it's not just commodities for sale that you have to be careful of when we're talking about information online. We're looking frequently at discussion threads on the various social media platforms where people are often overseas and they're talking to people who are either here or claim to know something about Paraguay. And sometimes the information's spot on and it's gold and people are really benefiting from it. But also frequently you see information that's being meted out that's either grossly out of date or is just factually incorrect. And it just once again goes into the category of things that can be easily said on social media, but when you really dig a bit deeper, you realise the information just isn't valid. And this is why sometimes I have a limited amount of patience, to be honest, with some people who will come onto the channel or contact me and they will have a firm view about what a piece of land should be worth or a property should be worth, and when I inquire, it's a case that these people often haven't been to Paraguay, but they've sourced their information from online forums or AI, real estate sites. And as this particular episode demonstrates, what are they really dealing with in regards to the information they're relying on to build their case? And it should be really underscored that it's also most definitely real estate agents. It's not just random nobodies on social media who are telling tales about properties that they claim are for sale. We gave up contacting real estate agents for the most part. The amount of times we saw properties that looked like they were too good to be true, they were at a price that just seemed like a fairy tale, only to make contact with an agent and realise that's exactly what they were. They either had been sold years ago, or they never were for sale, or there's something about that property that will render it never fit to be sold. It might have some sort of legal issue attached to it. So many different reasons that in the end we just kind of went, you know, we've got to find another way. And that's why I always say, when you find the place where you want to move to, before you find the property that you're looking for, you will probably find a relationship in that place, because it's through relationships that you find a viable property that's truly for sale by the person who owns it. So there you have it, just a tale about how you can be looking at your dream property online, only to later realise that the dream was a mirage. But as long as that's all it is, if your dream turns into a mirage, that's one thing, but when it turns into a nightmare, well, that's something entirely different and hopefully to be avoided. That's the plan anyway. So we're just having a good time here in Carcupe, leading up to the December the 8th celebrations, where this place goes ballistic. I'll make a video about that hopefully. And apart from that, we're just having fun and enjoying where we are. And wherever you are, I hope you are likewise. Until next time, take care. Ciao.
Smoking